Oh, shit, it's the last NFL show of the year. It makes me think of the Hamilton musical one last time. George Washington signing off for 2023. I don't think he was alive, but just roll with the analogy here. And that is me for not only the year of 2023 with my last show of 2023, but also my final football show of 2023. So I guess I'm going to break into song with Hamilton, and we're going to talk about, like, living under a tree and some shit. So I don't know. Watch the musical. What's up, new guy? My name's James, better known as the Degenerate75. I'm a DFS content creator who is here to help you get a little bit better at DFS. I'm going to tell you a little secret not a lot of people will call. This shit be real tough, and you're doing so many things wrong you don't even know about it. If you've somehow found me on my very last show of the year, fucking congratulations to you. That's impressive, new guy. I don't get impressed by new guys too much, but I'm impressed by you. If you want to know what's going on around here, make sure I've got that wheel right there. I'm not a poor. I'm going to be giving away tickets that we will build in the big contest tomorrow. I will split the profits with you 50-50. Looking forward to doing that. Have hit 2 big ones in the past month and had to PayPal some guys way too much money. Oh, you better believe I got their tax paperwork. I'm 1099 in their ass, all right? I ain't paying all the taxes on our hits. So hit those likes. For every 50 likes we get, we will do a giveaway that you will build with me, all right? If you want to. All you got to do to get in is simply just ask a question in the chat, up to 2 questions. Put a question mark. You ask more than 2, your ass is disqualified. No exceptions. I don't want to hear it. All right? And please, for the love of God, just know golf is back. If you got it, golf. It'll be back next Wednesday. If you want to have a good time, you want to see a show that ain't like any other show in the PGA DFS arena, please, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock in the Lord's time zone, come check out my show for Tournament of Champions. I am telling you, I can convert you. There was a guy 9 years ago that got me all excited about golf, and I was like, what the fuck is golf? And now it's my life. So I'm just telling you, try it out. Don't knock it till you try it, new guy. All right? And don't forget, starting every Monday, not this Monday, but the Monday after, me and Tambo are going to be doing a preview show. So if you've enjoyed me and Tambo's preview show so far this year for NFL, I highly encourage you to come check out the one for PGA. It's going to be real fun. Hey, NFL guys, I haven't done this all year, but I'm going to bring my favorite PGA question over to the NFL stream. Are you ready? Here you go, new guy. I got a very simple question for you. Have you made your lineup yet? You have. Every new guy's always made their lineups. You never make your lineups until you watch this stream right here. You got to know that there's so much shit you haven't even prepared for that you need to get ready for. So the first thing we're going to talk about where you're always blowing your money is contest selection. And let's go over there. Ooh, Millionaire Maker tomorrow. I didn't even see that. Ooh, wow. It's actually a fucking good I'm going to fucking play in that. I'm going to play in that. I'm going to play in that tournament. I'm playing in a Millionaire Maker tomorrow. Fuck it. I'm in. That's like the best Millionaire Maker. God, what am I missing here? Am I in the fucking Twilight Zone? What's going on? Is there a glitch in the Matrix? This is legit the best. This is like the best Millionaire Maker structure I've ever seen. I'm just trying to catch my breath right now, okay? $5 million prize pool. First place is 20% of it, which is a little high. We like it at 10%, but for the main contest, you're never going to get 10%, right? So 20 is about as good as we ever get. Second place is half of first, which, hold on, let me check the math. $500,000 is, carry the 5. Yeah, $500,000, very good. And then 10th place, 50,000, right? That's still what is that? That's still 1/20th, right? We like 1/10th, but that's not bad. I'm playing in it. YOLO, we're going out hard. It's tax harvesting season anyway, so let's go blow some money. All right, there you go. I hadn't even noticed that tournament, all right? I've had a lot of things on my plate, all right? Fucking deal with it. Now let's go look at the other one. The other Millionaire Maker, how about 44% to first? How about new? Second place, a smooth 1/10 of first. Very great odds there. Dude, don't play in these, all right? I'm telling you, if you would just get in well-structured contests, no matter the sport, no matter how much you play, no matter what level you're at, if you would just get in better structured contests, that alone right there will make all DFS much more sustainable for you. And if you want to know, this is what you should do at DFS. If you think you're going to grind to become a pro at this and pay your bills with it, you're probably not, right? But here's what you can do. You can get to the point where you're not constantly, having to pay your credit card off every month so you can load more DraftKings money onto there. You can get to that if you get a process, you learn how to manage your bankroll, and you get into well-structured contests. You do that long enough, you do that well enough, eventually you will hit that big one, I promise you, right? But you have to you got to learn to walk before you can fucking run, all right? And that is what I'm trying to help you do. So that is the advice I have for you on contest selection. But of course, the one contest you should definitely get in is mine. Look, it's still got 270 spots. Go fill it up. The Hoedown Listener League. The editor is going to put it right over here in the chat so you guys can get on it. So you lazy motherfathers that won't just go click in the link in the description, the editor's going to put it in the chat, so I want no excuses for the rest of you who are watching this later, which is like over 1,000 of you. It will be down in the description. Please go fill it up. It is a $5 3 max flat payout structure, grows the community. I appreciate it, and I will shout out my winner, Big Papa Huge Time with some guns. Look at that man. The man's flexing in his picture, and he's got big guns. And, of course, I'm going to give Paul Supple a little shout-out because he's flying the flag. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. There you go. Congratulations to our winners last week. Those two kind of boat raced everybody, if I'm being honest. Kind of boat raced them, Bob. Good job, dudes. All right, let's move on to it. If you don't know, the big guy is leaning into props in 2024. I think people, it is easy to get plus EV prop bets, right? The key is, can you get enough of them together to make a parlay profitable? I have found that I like to bet my props individually instead of parlaying them, like on sites like Prize Picks and Underdogs, but there is a place for that too, right? So here are some prop picks I like for this week, going off my projections that I think there are some safe that I think the lines are off for Vegas. Number 1, Jared Goff over 1.5 passing touchdowns. That guy's kind of a goof. I get it. Wait, did he really put we really put the Saturday night prop on here? Donkey dicks. Anyways, I don't even know if this is going to be done. Fuck that one. I don't know why he put that on there. Jesus, what do I pay this guy for? Moving on, that one's for tonight. By the time you're watching this, that one's already going to be gone, so I guess I'll give you my other two. Then he gave me the Saturday night props. What a fucking idiot. All right, never mind. No fucking no props. Jesus, editor, get with it. Whatever. Okay, moving the fuck on. Slap dicks, get it together. Back of the house, people. I don't have time to proofread everybody's shit, okay? Jesus Christ. All right. Sorry, Lord. Didn't mean to take your name in vain to some people. All right. Let's get to the DFS process tip. If I'm going to be the guy that's not going to give you picks and plays, I better at least give you some process tips, right? Just the tip is what we're going to call this. And here's what I want you to do. I want you, if you have found me this NFL season, which has been well over 1,000 of you, well, first of all, thanks for coming. I really appreciate you guys all being here and growing the channel and hitting that like and subscribing and telling friends. It means a lot to me, okay? But here's what I tell you. If you found it and you have enjoyed this channel, it probably means you're somebody that likes to think for yourself. Probably means you're not somebody who needs spoon-fed answers for picks and plays handed to you, and you're probably somebody who enjoys playing the game, okay? Those are all things that probably are indicative of a lot of the people that follow this channel. And so here is my plea to you. Starting next week, football is going to start dying down, week 18's a fucking shit show, and then the playoffs, you'd never get these main slates again, right? And there's going to be a sport that's going to be coming back called PGA. And if you want to see a DFS sport where the donkey dicks get punished, a DFS sport where you can play the game and get punished much more frequently, if you want to see a sport that the content fucking sucks for, and there is not a lot of sharp people pushing out sharp content, then come check out PGA DFS. I swear by it. It is so much fun. It is such a different burn. I didn't know shit about it 8 years ago, and now it's my entire life. I am telling you, try it once. It will knock your socks off. It is so much fun. I converted it about 100 or so members last year that just found me during football, like, all right, shit, I'll try this PGA one time, and now they're hooked. They put that shit in their veins like it's an illegal substance, okay? And maybe that can be you in 2024. I beg you, come check out PGA DFS. You will not regret it. A great place to start will be at my stream this Wednesday, 7 o'clock in the Lord's time zone. We have the Tournament of Champions. Ooh, without John Rahm. Get the fuck out of here, John Rahm. All right, let's talk a little weather. If you don't know, we ought to check out the weather before we get going. So, what is the weather? Well, it's this. There's two dome games. I'm not worried about them, but it's late December, right? Actually, I guess tomorrow's literally the last day of the year. To me, I see 3 games that I'm going to be keeping an eye on, right? I have my own weather guy, okay? That's how hard we go in the paint over here. So let me just go ahead and tell you the 3 games we're watching. First of all, it's Buffalo. There's a chance there's going to be snow off and on. You can see it up there. We got a lot of yellow highlighted. It is going to be cool. The one good news is they're not going to be dealing with wind, but light snow on the field this late in the season tends to lead to slower games with fewer plays and a higher percentage of run plays, right? So that doesn't mean you should avoid people in that game, but maybe it should affect who you play and why you play them. Probably the game I'm the most concerned about would probably be this Atlanta-Chicago game. I was kind of wondering why nobody wants to play Justin Fields against Atlanta, and the only reason I can come up with is that it's Chicago and there could be some light snow. There's going to be some more gusty winds there, and it's going to be like Buffalo, but probably a little windier. And so because of that, this probably has the most questionable scoring conditions of any of these games. But let's face it, you're not playing Justin Fields because he's going to be throwing 57 times. You're playing him for the 75-yard touchdown run. You know his luck sack ass is going to bust in the second quarter, right? That's why you play Justin Fields. So there you go. Those are the two games. And then I'm also watching the Giants game, the Rams and the Giants, and I'll also be watching the Arizona-Philly game. Anything up in the Northeast this time of year, you got to be monitoring the weather. But overall, not a ton of precipitation outside of Buffalo and Chicago, so it would appear. And precipitation is what affects scoring much more than the cold does, right? And wind. But really, wind does not seem out of control really anywhere tomorrow. So here's your game. Oh, wait. Oh, I lied. Don't forget about the Kansas City game. The Kansas City game going to be real cold. But once again, cold temperatures do not affect scoring as much as wind conditions and cold. So and precipitation. So I'm not as concerned about that game. Got it? Good. There's our 13 games. Let's get over to the blank Rosetta Stone. This is what I get all of my members over on dgen75.com. Of course, theirs looks fancy and pretty and is all colored up with all the relevant stats and everything you need to know. But for here, this is the YouTube version. We're going to do the black and white one, okay? More on how to see the real one later. All right, our first game. We're going to run through all 13 of these, and then I am going to answer your questions. So here we go. First game, Miami-Baltimore, I think is going to be a relatively popular game, a 47-point total. Two teams that have a ton to play for, and two teams that's offenses have been looking real good recently, right? So first up, you want somebody that nobody is going to play tomorrow. Like if you want an elite quarterback that nobody's going to play, Tua Tagovailoa. No one is going to play him. And here's the best news. You just got to know this. If you play Tua, you basically only got to skinny stack him because he's only ever going to get one guy there, and that's going to be Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek Hill has played really well when Jalen Waddle's been out. But my rule is always you play Miami when they're at home. At Baltimore against this defense, I'm not going to lie, even kind of scares me. And I'm a YOLO mother father. I don't give a shit. Okay? But this game does kind of scare me. But here's what I could tell you. What a lot of people are going to want to do in this game is they're going to want to run Baltimore stacks. They're going to want to get on that Baltimore side of the ball. They're at home. They're playing well. They're likely to be playing from ahead. And I think you're going to see people playing Baltimore and then running it back with Tyreek Hill. But I think where most of the donkeys are going to go is Cedric Wilson Jr., right? Oh, Waddle's out, so that must mean Cedric Wilson's going to get all those targets. That's not how it works, bro. Cedric Wilson's not that guy. Okay, he's not Waddle. He's not going to absorb all of that usage, right? So because of that, I just think, and the pricing being tight this week, people are going to go to Cedric Wilson Jr., and just be aware, playing a chalky Cedric Wilson Jr., make sure to check the updated ownership in the morning. But if you're seeing him at 15 or 20%, I'm just telling you, that is the kind of donkey dick chalk you want to stay away from in the long run. It will bite your ass way more than it will ever help you out. At running back, Mostert and Achane, nobody is going to play them. Mostert is going to be, he's just taking some old days off at practice this week, but he's going to be fine. He's going to play. Problem is, with Achane there, I think it really kills his upside. And Baltimore, they kind of play defense, Bob. Heading over to the Baltimore side, Lamar Jackson, very, very nice to play. I think this is a great spot for Lamar. He will be noticeably more popular than Tua, but nothing out of line. I would guess no more than 9% owned for an elite quarterback who could rush for 2 touchdowns, maybe even throw for another 1 or 2. The key is I think you can get away with just single stacking Lamar Jackson, right? And if you single stack Lamar, who's that going to be? Well, I'll tell you, for me, it's almost certainly going to either be Zay Flowers, who is trending towards being okay to play, or Isaiah Likely, right? Those are the two. And I don't think that you need to double stack Lamar, because if Lamar is going to get there, he is almost certainly going to do it with one of those touchdowns being a rush touchdown, right? Moving on to New England and Buffalo, we've already talked about the concerns there might be in weather in this game. You also have just the motivation factor. Like, is New England just going to go in there and just flounder like a fish? I don't know. But I will say this. Anytime everybody is convinced of how an outcome of a game is going to be so far this year, it has ended up not exactly being that way, right? So with that in mind, if you force me to play New England, I'm always up for Pop Douglas, right? Demario Douglas. But you got to remember that, once again, with pricing being tight this week, he is going to be popular. And if you're under $4,500 this week at wide receiver, you're going to be popular. That's going to be Demario Douglas. So be looking out for that. On the flip side, Josh Allen, are you telling me that Buffalo might not want to just run it up on the Patriots and score 5 touchdowns? You're telling me that Josh Allen, I'm fully aware he could get 12 points in this game and not do dick, right? But there is a chance he just has one of those games where all the touchdown variance goes to him. It doesn't go to the running backs. And if you have an Allen and Diggs stack, just those two, just play a little skinny stack between those two, it will legit be like 1% of 1% owned. Nobody is going to have that stack tomorrow. So if you're one of those people that's playing in large fields and you want to get some leverage, this is one of the few times you can ever get a Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs stack at absolutely nothing. And if you need the price savings, then run it back with Demario Douglas, right? Moving on to Chicago, Atlanta, I was for sure Justin Fields was going to be mega chalk this week. Cole Kmet is a little banged up. I'm a little worried that even if he does play, that he is not going to be 100%. DJ Moore has kind of not been great. So there is if I want to play Justin Fields, who the hell do I stack him with? I still think that the answer is DJ Moore. But it's not that simple. And I'm almost getting to the point with Justin Fields where, like, do I play him naked? Because he throws to so many random-ass wide receivers, it's hard to really assume that he is going to always carry at least one pass catcher there with him. But I will tell you, anytime you're playing Atlanta's defense, I'm always in for a quarterback stack against them. Plus, Atlanta has some really nice run backs, right? Bijan, I'm in. I think Bijan has finally taken to that backfield. Atlanta actually has something to play for now. They're actually playing like a real football team, and they're actually giving their ball to their best players. So Bijan, London, Kyle Pitts, all of these guys become very nice run backs. I will warn you, this is the game that has the biggest weather concern, and I think that is going to keep some people off this game. But if it's just going to be 10 to 15 mile an hour gusts and no precipitation, I don't think that is enough that you should just completely cancel this game off of your docket. Moving on, Tennessee, Houston. I think this one's going to be popular. Houston's back at home in the Dome, and if we've seen anything, when CJ Stroud is playing, which he will be tomorrow, and they're at home, Houston's pretty good at offense. And weirdly enough, Tennessee's actually been like having a decent offense for a while. They've got old Skinny Jeans Levi's back this week. DeAndre Hopkins, both active. Shig has been really involved in the offense. Doesn't this just feel like a 28-24 type game? And you look up, it's like, Jesus, CJ Stroud, another 330 yards and 3 touchdowns, right? And so if you are buying that narrative and you do think this game can be a shootout, I think that it's interesting because Shig is a really cheap run back option. Treylon Burks is a really cheap run back option. Hell, maybe even stack the Tennessee side and then just go do a Houston run back if you really want to get weird. But I think what a lot of people are going to do is they're going to take CJ Stroud, and I think that they're going to stack him with Dalton Schultz, right? I think and maybe even try to get a Singletary in there. But what's weird is I think CJ Stroud will come in sneaky steamed up tomorrow, more popular than people are anticipating. But weirdly enough, Nico Collins and Noah Brown are going to kind of get forgotten about. And let's face it, those are still the number 1 and number 2 wide receivers on this team ever since Tank Dell's been out. So if I'm playing CJ Stroud, I'm not going to forget to rotate in some lineups with Nico Collins and Noah Brown, right? This game, I'm telling you, if I see ownership in the morning when we update over at DGen75 and this game is not popping off, it's a game I'm going to be knee-deep in. Knee-deep, buddy. All right, moving on. By the way, if you're like, man, you're going awfully fast tonight. Well, let me tell you, there's like 900 games tomorrow. If I don't pick up the pace, we'll be here till kickoff tomorrow. Las Vegas at Indianapolis, another Dome game. You know the big guy loves Dome. I feel like Vegas is trying to tell us something by putting this line at 43.5, giving Las Vegas 20 implied points. I think the big news here is Josh Jacobs is out, and Zamir White has kind of been like really good when Josh Jacobs has been out. He has delivered both times. I believe he got 17.5 both times, right? And so with that, here's what I'd say. He's going to be over 20% owned. I promise you, because people need that price savings. And you need to ask yourself, is he going to continue to get there? If you think Las Vegas is going to compete in this game, I think Zamir White is going to get there. If you think they're going to get behind or the Colts are going to beat that ass, Zamir White is not going to get there. So I think you answer that question by how you think this game will play out. Basically, we're taking our showdown strategy and we're applying it to this 1 week-long game, right? Moving over to the Indianapolis side, Jonathan Taylor has that backfield all to himself. He is getting the opportunities. He just hasn't had that big game yet since he's had the backfield to himself. But with no Zach Moss, you have to imagine he's going to get a steady dose. If you want to go the other way, a Gardner Minshew stack at home with a 24-point total, I never hate. I think the only 2 guys I'm only skinny stacking Minshew, and I'm probably looking at Pittman, who is going to be back this week most likely, or Josh Downs, right? Those are the 2 guys that can get there. Alex Pierce catches the occasional bomb. He just doesn't get enough volume to do it for me. Moving on to Carolina and Jacksonville, the big news here is Trevor Lawrence is out. C.J. Beathard is going to start, and that to me makes this game just feel like a freaking slog. If this game's not like 17-13, I will be shocked, okay? Yes, Bryce Young finally had a good fantasy week, and Bryce Young does seem to be trending, and if you're a true sicko, I think a Bryce Young, Jonathan Mingo, little skinny stack could be nutted, right? Because if you somehow can just squeeze out 20 points out of Young and 25 out of Mingo, you know, they have that one big game this year, you have saved all the money, and now you can go play all these studs at different positions because of how much money you saved with your little skinny stack, right? Jacksonville, C.J. Beathard is not as bad as you probably think he is, but he's also not that good. To me, this just kind of kills the value of a guy like Calvin Ridley, of Evan Ingram, and even if Zay Jones does make it back, I think his value is killed by not having Trevor Lawrence. To me, the most interesting player is Travis Etienne here, as Jacksonville is likely to be in a favorable script. They could be running him a lot, but man, I got to tell you, Travis Etienne hasn't done it in a while. Like, when does he ever break? It's 7,200. He needs to have 30-point upside, and I feel like that motherfather is never going to score 30 points, right? Moving on. The Rams and the Giants, I think this is my favorite sneaky game. I think this is my favorite game on the slate. I wish this game was in LA and I would be all in. The fact that it's outdoors in the Meadowlands makes me a little nervous, but ever since Tyrod Taylor's taken over the Giants, which has been 2+ games now, they have been playing very, very quickly, like at a much faster pace. They're no longer one of the slowest teams in the NFL. Not to mention, Tyrod Taylor can do this crazy thing called completing a forward pass, and some people in the NFL circles have said that helps with your offense. So Tyrod Taylor skinny stacked with Wandell saves you all the money. Skinny stacked with Slayton saves you all the money, or probably my favorite, skinny stacked with Darren Waller saves you all the money. Darren Waller's targets have been definitely going up since Tyrod Taylor took over. Furthermore, if the Giants are going to be competitive in this game, I think that they're going to have to get to that 21, 24 point mark to win this game, and that's probably going to involve Tyrod throwing 35 to 40 times, right? And Tyrod still has just a little bit of wheels left and could sneak and get you another 20 rushing yards, and if you luck sack, maybe a rushing touchdown. I honestly don't even mind him with Saquon. Tyrod, Barkley, and then one of those cheap pass catchers, don't mind it. And here's the best part about a Tyrod stack. You have amazing run backs with the Rams. Ever since old Karen Williams has been back for the Rams, yes, I know he's always bitching about shit, but their offense has been just different. It has been noticeably better. And I think that Karen Williams, Puka and Kupp are all still awesome plays, right? Puka's going to be fine. He's going to be out there. I think he is clearly past Cooper Kupp as their number one wide receiver, but either one of them is basically the same guy. I think you're flipping a coin almost. Who is going to have the better game? If you force me to pick, I would say Puka, but maybe you just go with old Karen Williams, and if it doesn't get there, just like him, you can bitch about it later. Arizona and Philadelphia, if Jalen Hurts isn't 25% plus owned in the high dollar single entry stuff tomorrow, I'll eat my hat on the air with no A1 steak sauce, okay? That is a fact. He is $8,300. He, like, with the tush push, and DeAndre Swift has a magnet in his ball sack that brings him down at the 1 yard line every fucking time. So you know Jalen Hurts is going to get at least 2 rushing touchdowns because the tush push is unstoppable, and DeAndre Swift has an allergic reaction to the end zone. So with that, Jalen Hurts, you can already put him in for, just 14 or 15 points just from rushing. Oh, tilts my dick. All right, but if for whatever reason, by some miracle of God, Jalen Hurts doesn't score 2 rushing touchdowns tomorrow, isn't there a path for him to score 18 points? And here's the crazy thing. People are playing Jalen Hurts tomorrow, but none of his pass catchers are coming in highly owned. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, none of them are coming in highly owned. So, maybe you just, if you're going to play Jalen Hurts, maybe just make sure you're stacking him. And I think that might be the way to be different. But I think the ultimate way to get different is fade Hurts and go play DeAndre Swift. Well, maybe, just maybe one time, that donkey dick will learn how to fall into the end zone twice in a game. And then not only are you getting those touchdowns from DeAndre Swift, you are directly taking them from the chalkiest quarterback on the slate, Jalen Hurts. It's not just about what your guys do. It's about what your guys do and how they affect what everybody else in the field is playing. And let me tell you right now, Jalen Hurts is going to be wildly popular tomorrow. On the flip side, I do wonder if Arizona can push this game at all. Of course, Trey McBride's going to be popular. People love that guy. He is a stud. Kyler Murray basically just throws in the ball every play. But Arizona's offense is kind of, how do I put this nicely? Garbage, right? They're just not that good. Once again, Hollywood Brown is not going to be playing. Wilson, Dortch, and Moore, we know who these guys are. You keep chasing them. I'll keep telling you not to do it. I know who these guys are. They're not good. They're not that guy. They're Marquez Callaway. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Moving on, New Orleans and Tampa Bay, 42.5 point line, which this season's a big line, am I right? Derek Carr is, Derek Carr. For the life of me, just start Jameis Winston one time. If Jameis Winston was starting this week, I would probably have to remortgage my house. I'd be playing so many lineups with Jameis Winston in it. But he's not. It's Derek Carr, and Derek Carr blows donkey dick. Rashid Shaheed is going to be very popular. Once again, people just need that cheap punt wide receiver. His volume has been going up. He catches a long touchdown every week. He's good. Do I want to play a guy that gets 3 catches a week? No, I don't. I'm going to let other people play Rashid Shaheed. And, that middle ground, the guy throwing in the ball sucks. I think I'd much rather just play Chris Olave. I'll just play Chris Olave and just let's just see who the better player is. I know that he's $2,200 more expensive, but he's also about $4,000 better. So let's not forget that in the equation. Baker Mayfield has actually turned into a decent fantasy quarterback. I owe the Bakes an apology. You are the man, Baker. But at $6,100, he's no longer that punt, right? We liked Baker when he was $5,000, when he was $5,100. Now he's actually getting priced where decent quarterbacks get priced. Furthermore, all of his pass catching options aren't cheap either. You want to put him with Rachaad White, $7,600. That's elite pricing for a running back. You want to put him with Mike Evans, $7,800, $6,100 Godwin, right? There's just nobody you can realistically stack him with. And when do you ever want to play Baker Mayfield as part of an expensive stack, right? I have a hard time playing him when he's a punt cheap stack. Now you want me to play him as an expensive stack? Not in this lifetime, pal. San Francisco, Washington. I mean, if San Francisco doesn't score 35 points, I will literally be shocked, all right? Brock Purdy is just bounce back city here. He just is a guy that, trust me, you want to go back to him here. He is going to be fine. If I see that he's going to be under 10% owned, I'll tell you right now, I'll push all in on the mother father. I know that he sucked last week. I know he's not that good, but the 49ers are good. They are. And, like, he can just be an average slapdick and still manage to get 26 fantasy points tomorrow, okay? So watch Brock Purdy's ownership. Now that he's up to $7,000, I'm telling you, that psychologically does something to people when you get up to that next range of pricing. And because of that, I think he is going to come in pretty low owned. And I think you can legit just get away with a Purdy McCaffrey stack and then fade everybody else. I think you just go Purdy in one of these guys, either McCaffrey, Samuel, Ayuk, or Kittle. I don't think you need to double stack him. I think he spreads it around enough, and you just hope that maybe the guy that you stack him with gets double touchdown variance, and then you break the slate with that little skinny stack, and you didn't spend all your money on San Francisco's offense. Furthermore, Washington has some pretty nice run backs. I always love Terry McLaurin as a run back. I always love Curtis Samuel as a run back. And if you didn't see, old Jacoby Brisket is trending towards not playing, right? Apparently the coach doesn't like barbecue, and so they are leaning towards going Sam Howell. We know who Sam Howell is, right? He does have some good games, and in a perfect world, he could push the pace of this game. To me, I think he's just going to get his lunch eaten, but I choose to believe that he could have a good game, all right? Moving on to the afternoon. Only 3 afternoon games tomorrow. 10 early games. It's going to be hard to get on all the televisions. Am I right? So, Pittsburgh at Seattle. By the way, don't forget to hit the likes. I see 105 of you in here. Only 68 likes. I'd like to give away 2 tickets tonight. Pittsburgh, Seattle. Mason Rudolph, the Cowboy, is going to be starting. And, he actually looked pretty good, right? I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, yeah, got to keep playing George Pickens with him. He always throws the ball to George Pickens. Well, or water can find its level. I think this game is surprisingly has over a 40-point total, because to me, this just reeks of a run fest. It seems like Warren, Harris, Walker, and Charbonnet could all get 10-plus rushing attempts in this game. And with that, this game just doesn't strike me as a great game I want to stack, but that doesn't mean I don't want any part of this game. I do think there are some interesting pieces to this game. If we get word that Kenneth Walker is going to lead the backfield, he does seem to have pretty good home splits, generally speaking. They are going to be in a favorable script, and I always like Seattle playing ahead and giving the ball to Kenneth Walker. I also think Pat Freiermuth is a guy that is very fairly priced tight end, and if Pittsburgh is behind, I think that he is a guy that could get a lot of targets. But overall, this is just a game that just feels sloggy as shit to me, not trying to get up in it, trying to grab a piece or two. Probably my favorite game on the entire slate that I do not feel like enough people are talking about is this Cincinnati-Kansas City game. I cannot believe it, but right now we are projecting Jamar Chase at under 1% ownership. Under 1%. Jamar Chase at 7,600. One of the 3 best wide receivers in the NFL, undoubtedly. And he is coming in at under 1% because of his questionable status with the AC joint, right? But Jamar Chase is going to probably play. Jamar Chase is probably going to be fine. Could he re-aggravate his injury? Sure. But, couldn't Tyreek Hill pull a hamstring too? At some point, you got to just play the leverage game. And Jake Browning has continued to look like a serviceable NFL quarterback. Kansas City is a team that can be susceptible to giving up plays. A Jake Browning, Jamar Chase skinny stack is going to be wildly under-owned tomorrow. And here's the best part. You have some great options with Kansas City to run it back. Pacheco is going to be back. He has cleared protocol. He is going to be back and probably being used as monster. Rashee Rice at 6,900 is finally that guy. We finally have that guy. What did I do here? I just jumped all the way back up to the top. Rashee Rice is finally the number 1 wide receiver for Kansas City. So we actually have a number 1 wide receiver to stack from Kansas City. And then, of course, Travis Kelce has to put on a good game for Taylor Swift or his ass is going to get dumped. Them the words going around the streets, okay? So there's plenty to like about this game. I feel like this game, just looking at my early ownership projections, is coming in wildly under-owned. And then lastly, the Chargers in Denver. You've got old baseball bat, Easton Stick, who's actually not that bad. He's kind of, how I was telling you a couple weeks ago before Jake Browning started breaking out, I was like, he's not that bad. Easton Stick's not that bad. The problem with him is Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer is out, so who the hell is he going to throw the ball to? And if you say Quentin Johnson, I will come through the screen and punch you in the throat. Quentin Johnson sucks. All right, Jalen Guyton, maybe. But I think what most people are going to do is they are going to play Austin Eckler and Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett's targets have been through the roof ever since Easton Stick has taken over. Austin Eckler at running back is a guy that is just due for a big game, and now he's down to 6,700. It seems like this could finally be the spot for him, but I will never let go of my theory is I think there's something wrong with old Austin Eckler. For Denver, old loser-ass Russell Wilson finally got benched. We now have Jarrett Stidham starting. Gross. What did he play at? Baylor? Baylor. All right, moving on. Javonte Williams and that crazy backfield that I hate. Judy and Mims both busted up. Probably going to play. Sutton is out. Once again, this game just reeks of a slog to me. It is in Denver. There could be some questionable weather. This is a game I'm going to want to have a piece of, or maybe I have the ability to pivot too late because I don't think anybody in this game is going to be owned outside of Gerald Everett. Maybe a little bit on Austin Eckler, but hell, I even doubt that, okay? There you go. That is the full 13-game slate, okay? I will answer your questions now. I will do a giveaway. I see 77 likes, Editor. Editor, why don't you go ahead and draw one of these names to build a lineup with me tomorrow? And while they do, I will tell them, guys, this is dgen75.com. You are going to want to get in here. Editor, go switch the Josh Allen picture back to Tiger now. It's time. It's golf season. Guys, you need to come check out golf. Golf is where it's at. I make a product like nothing else out there. I do everything. I do behind the paywall videos for all of my ownership. I have a Rosetta Stone for PGA. I do everything you need to get you ready, not only for PGA week long, aka kicking the nuts, but also for Showdown. And I do it all without doing this little thing called price gouging you. You can have all of my golf package for just $34.99. Trust me, look at me. You're going to want to lock that price in. There could be some big things coming up for the big guy in 2024, so you're going to want to lock that price in because things could be changing. That's all I can say about it right now. All right? Also, big shout out to all my winners this week. I love to see all you mother fathers, Paul and Darg and Droid and Eric and Gebby, Corey Brady, M. Skellett, Sexual Chocolate, what a name, CM Rattler, all my dudes flying the flag, winning lots and lots of money. Love to see it. We celebrate all the victories around my community. It's a little bit different. Imagine that. And oh yeah, I have the best tool in all of NFL and PGA DFS called the Rosetta Stone, which has everything you need where you can make informed decisions and make your player pool based on actual information and not just what some talking dickhead said on a stream. All right. So let's get to the drawing. Editor drew Steven Leibowitz. There you go. All right, Steven Leibowitz. Guys, once we get to 100 likes, we will draw another one. And don't forget, the Waste Management is coming up. Me and Tambo are having a big meetup in February. If you're interested in doing it, we are putting the itinerary together now, and we are going to start selling it. So start buttering up your wife now to escape through the Waste Management. Come watch some golf. Come hang out. Let's have some fun. But for right now, let's answer some questions. Here we go. Editor, if it gets to 100 likes, just go do it, okay? Just go do it. Let's see here. All right, looking at it. Do you think Deuce Vaughn makes his dad proud tonight? I do not. I do not. Do you think everyone's going to low-price quarterback tomorrow? Maybe thinking I should pay up a quarterback? Yeah, I mean, I think that it's an interesting strategy. There's some really good quarterbacks tomorrow, some pay-up quarterbacks that I don't think anybody's playing. Josh Allen, Justin Fields, Patrick Mahomes, three of them right off my head that I think that paying up could be the contrarian play tomorrow, Kenny. The problem with that is there's just not a lot of great pay-down options, so you better have some guys you're willing to pay down for, right? Do you think that the Giants can keep it competitive enough against the Stafford stacks? Look, I don't love the Giants, but I do kind of think that Tyrod makes them a better team, and Vegas seems to think they're going to keep it close. And Vegas knows more about this shit than we do, so if Vegas thinks they can keep it close, I think they can keep it close. So I think that's just a game I'm going to get a part of, Bob. Look at my little Showdown Hoedown cup. Isn't that cute? All right. Moving on. Looking for questions. All right. Trying to get my ass kicked in the NFL. Anyone else ready for golf? I'm always ready for golf. Whether I'm winning or losing at football, I'm always ready. Value or top end versus small field high ticket pros? What the fuck? Value or top end versus small field high ticket pros? I don't know what the hell that means. Do you have to mentor when you started playing? Did you have a mentor? No, I didn't. I just, yes, it was a mentor called the School of Hard Knocks, getting my ass kicked for 2.5 years at DFS, being like, I know this stuff. Why don't I win? And I didn't know what I was doing. You think you know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing. So no, I just watched a lot of shows. I played a lot. And then eventually I was like, hey, what am I doing? And then, over a while, like anything, you get better at it. You learn from your mistakes. You improve your process. And then you become a break-even player. And then if you do that long enough, you can become a winning player. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So that'd be my answer to your question. Should we pay up at running back or receiver this week? I think my answer to that is almost always pay up at running back. It's a lot easier for punt wide receivers to get there than punt running backs, in my opinion. Can we fade CMC? Here's the better. I'm going to answer a question with a question, Tweezy. Can we afford to play CMC? I don't know what lineups you've been building, but I'm struggling to get his ass in there. What's the best value at defensive special teams play? Didn't even look at it, Bob. Haven't even looked. But any home team under $2,800, I'm always in. Will you be doing any videos on how to better play DFS using the solver and Rosetta Stone? I'm still a noob at golf. Yeah, over on my Discord and on the website, I will have full tutorials walking everybody through the Rosetta Stone and the solver specifically for golf, because I know I'm going to have a shit ton of people signing up for golf, because if you don't know, the Big Guys golf team, big. We got a big team over there. What's your New Year's resolution? To say fuck less. All right, Neptune, would you play a running back in a good matchup even if you don't like the running back? I think matchups are really overrated, so here's my answer to that. No, I wouldn't. I play running backs based on if I like them. You know, we just saw, Saquon Barkley is such a tough matchup against the Eagles. Dude had like 20 points. Old Skinny Jeans seems to be good slime stack special tomorrow. Am I way off base? I don't think so. I think that saving money on your stacks is really the only reasonable way to play tomorrow if you have some studs you want to get in there. Is it worth paying up at quarterback this week? Is it worth paying up at quarterback this week? Yes, if you want to be contrarian. But once again, I'm going to answer the same. I'm going to give you the same answer. You got to like some punts somewhere. I don't know who it's going to be. Minshew stack with Vegas run back to ship? Yes, but the problem is, who is your run back going to be? I don't love Zamir White there, so you better have another one. James, your golf question should have been, who's the one guy I'm playing? Not a chance. With so many games are likely to full stack one game and hope it goes nuclear, I don't like ever having more than 5 guys in one game on a main slate. And Tommy, tomorrow, I think my rule will probably be no more than 4 guys from one game. But that's just me, brother. Moving on is a question. Looking for question marks. Thoughts on using a second tight end? Now, that's not a bad idea, Johnny. If there's 2 tight ends you like, and it helps you keep the price tag, go ahead. But here's the problem I'm going to tell you that I see, Johnny. Most of the tight ends that I like tomorrow are kind of priced up. I mean, maybe you could go with like a Freiermuth and a Shig or something like that, and that would help save you some money. So I guess that could work. Let's see. What do you think about the teams out will disrupt the teams on the fringe? What do you think about the teams out will disrupt the teams on the fringe? I don't understand that question. Austin Hooper or Robert Tonyan? Oh, probably Hooper, but how about neither? Can I go with neither? Are you ready for golf next week? Does a bear shit in the woods? Stroud, stack, take all the money. I don't mind it. Problem is, you're gonna have to find the right guys to stack him with, and I think that Schultz, Noah Brown, and Nico Collins are all viable, all very viable. Double strike Stout this week. I mean, yes, but like that gets a little expensive. He's not cheap, nor are his options to stack him with. If you're not playing PJ DFS, what are you doing? A great question, editor. I fucking hate YouTube and they're selecting these questions. Reflection, Rookie of the Year, CJ or Puka? Puka. Puka's an animal. Puka is an animal, Bob. Let's see. Let's go. Boomer. Yeah, that sucked. Oh, you choked the shit out of that game. How do you examine your process at the end of the season to get better? Well, first of all, I go look. I break it down. How did I do it PGA week long? How did I do it PGA Showdown? How did I do it NFL Showdown? How did I do it NFL week long? How did I do it college football GPPs? How did I do it college football cash? And I go look and I see where was I having the most success, and then I try to see, well, what about this was causing me to have success at this but not have success at this, and try to refine my process like that, right? Find the things you're good at, find the things you're bad at, and then see what's the difference between those two things, right? That's how I do it, Bob. Moving on, thoughts on overstack a single game versus playing one player from San Francisco. I always like a good stack of a game, but overstacking on a 13-game slate can be tough. But if you're doing it in smaller, I'm okay with it, Jerry, so long as it's in a smaller field. The bigger the field, the more nutted players you're going to have to hit, and that usually means coming from multiple games, right? Good evening, DJen. Who is the slimmest playable QB tomorrow? Tyrod Taylor. When does college football start again? What an edge. Thanks for all the process. Yeah, it'll be back in August. Tua Tyreek for all the money. I think it's sharp, but that's a lot of money you're spending on 2 mother fathers. Bigger donkey chalk, Cedric Wilson or Ludwig Aber? That's easy. Wilson, because Aber doesn't blow donkey dick. Dewey Bartlett, does your correlation strategy change with a 13-game slate, i.e. less or more? I think a little bit less. You won't see me putting 5 or 6 guys from the same game in a lineup tomorrow, simply just because I just feel like that's too much to stack one game, and anything with probably a field of over 1,000 people in it, right? Is it impossible to get away from the Tampa game? I think I'm going to fade it. A lot of those guys in that game are just overpriced. Chad says, I've heard and read about the concept of raw points. Raw points matter this week. How do you decide if there's a week raw points matter? I've never really even considered that. I think that's just something that people say because they're running out of shit to say because it's week 17. That would be my guess, Chad. Thoughts on having more QBs than normal this week? It's interesting. I'll tell you what. I like it because it allows you to go for any kind of stack you want. That's the best part about it. Happy New Year's. How's the Lamar likely skinny stack? If I'm paying up at quarterback, that's probably my favorite one, Steven. But I will tell you, I do think it's going to be a little bit higher on. I don't think I'm the only person who's going to realize that could be a good skinny stack. Burley Fun Bags. Great content and advice. What's the largest amount you've ever won in a contest? 50. I've won 50,000 a few times. I don't play in contests. Those contests where you see 100,000 a first, 200,000 a first, a million a first. I just don't play in them. And a great mathematician once said, it's hard to win contests you don't play in. I can't confirm that. I just don't play in those. That one I'm playing in tomorrow, I'm only playing it because it has a good contest structure. That 22-22, why the fuck not, Bob? Why the fuck not? But I never play in the Millionaire Maker. I'm only playing in it tomorrow because it's a good payout structure. I'm not opposed to winning $1 million or playing for $1 million. I just hate this contest structures, and I'm not going to sit here and preach contest structures and then go getting all the fucking stupid contest structures. All right, moving on. How much weight do you put into giving incentives narratives? Not at all. I think that's the most overrated shit ever. I mean, you think the coaches are like, I got to get him to 7 catches this week. I just don't think that's happening. What's the highest total sneaky game? My favorite sneaky game is probably the Giants and the Rams. I think one that's probably on nobody's radar that could sneaky shoot out would probably be Atlanta and the Bears. I don't know. That game, I guess everybody else knows something that I don't. Where's Billy? All of the trends and statistical info tonight. He was feeding on Tampa. You take that up with Billy. I don't babysit his ass. Do you always need to use a run back? No, Ryan. That's one of the things I've really changed in my process this year. Is I've noticed a lot of times, especially when I do a skinny stack, which is just one quarterback and one pass catcher, I don't need a run back for that to get there. So I've kind of gotten away from that idea of just thinking I always have to have a run back. One's if just my team scores 28 and the other team only scores 6. Well, my skinny stack got there and I didn't need a run back, right? I do like run backs for the concept of correlation, but I do not think they are required. Not at all. If playing in a large GPP, worth it to fade McCaffrey? If playing in a large GPP, look, you better like some punts, because if you're playing McCaffrey, you're probably going to have 2 punts in your lineups, you mother father. So you better really like his ass to justify that. I get the stone, but don't use the solver. How much does ownership projections change when the stone gets out? Not a lot, and we still send out those new ownerships. We'll put it out, Jay, so don't worry too much, bud. It's more just like getting a feeling. And watch the stream tomorrow at 10:30, and I'll tell you guys who are getting steam on that stream, okay? I know you're over behind the paywall. Looking for questions. I'm not seeing question marks. Let's see. Baylor quarterback. All right. Would you dare play a skinny Stidham and Mims and jam in the studs? I mean, I could think of 4 other cheap stacks I'd rather play above that one. Hey, guys, don't forget to go hop in my contest. Get that filled for me, you mother fathers. He went to Auburn. I think he started at Baylor. I'm pretty sure he started at Baylor. Pretty sure. I remember Stidham at Baylor. All right. Maybe he transferred because he was a slapdick. Is a Beathard stack viable? Maybe, but I don't love it, Bob. I just don't love that game, but I'm also prejudiced against shitty teams. 3 running backs this week for single entry? Probably, but once again, you guys keep talking about this stuff. It's all great to have to say these things, but you also have to remember there's this thing called math, and you have to be able to make your lineups mathematically work. And jamming 3 running backs on a lineup isn't the easiest thing to do because there's not a lot of cheap running backs on the slate that people are going to want to play. Browning, Kelsey, and Chase game stack with Chase. Yeah, I like it. I like it, Oliver. You ain't gonna sell my ass. I'm in, Bob. Doesn't Stroud already have Rookie of the Year locked up? I don't give a shit. He asked me a question. I gave my opinion, Bob. Gave my opinion. You can't handle it. That's on you. I just like Puka Nacua. He won me so much money at college football cash game last year. I have a soft spot in my heart. CJ Stroud's been knocked the fuck out for 3 weeks, okay? Let's see. All right, there we go. Started at Auburn, transferred to Baylor. There we go. See, money got me. Guys, please remember, come check out my golf stream. It will be this Wednesday, 7 o'clock in the Lord's time zone. All of you that found me this year, thank you so much for watching the show. I will likely be back football season, but who the fuck knows what could change between now and then. But what won't change is me on this channel giving you all the best DFS advice I can from the School of Hard Knocks, trying to help you get better, not doing it with fucking stupid picks and plays. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making this show popular this year. Thank you for telling your friends, hitting the like and subscribing and doing all those things. I think that I want to go out on a Christmas song wrong on this year. And last time I checked, it's still Christmas season in my world, big guy. So let's just rock out to see ya. Happy New Year, you motherfathers.